I am so annoyed that I cannot find any video essays on the fantastic adventures of Unico, so today I'm covering it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Fangirl. I'm Megan, and let's take a trip down memory lane. Okay, I'm about to date myself hard here, but back in my day, if you wanted to watch a movie, you had to schlep yourself down to the video store, hope that they had the VHS tape that you wanted in stock, and then bring it home for less than 24 hours and pray that the tape didn't break. Seriously, you think scratching a DVD is bad? VHS tapes would literally melt in the sun. If you watch them too many times, the film would get these big lines going through it. And my favorite, sometimes your VCR would decide that it couldn't perform its one function in life and just eat the VHS tape. And the next thing you knew, you would owe $200 to the rental store for a $20 tape. It was like the Russian roulette of watching movies. And my parents were cheap, so I never even saw the inside of a Blockbuster until I was 19. We had this knockoff discount rental place called Front Row Video, and for whatever reason, they stocked some really oddball movies in the kids section. And that, guys and gals and non-binary friends, is where I found The Fantastic Adventures of Unico, a 1981 movie by Sanrio. Yes, the Hello Kitty people. And as you might imagine, Unico is a sugary gumball lollipop type of movie aimed at 3 to 5-year-olds. I religiously rented that movie myself from ages 3 to 8, but I just refound it on Amazon Prime, and I am almost shocked at how weird this movie is. Well, I guess Minnie McGann wouldn't have thought that, because my other favorite movie back in the day was The Last Unicorn, which isn't exactly written for kids. But Unico is written for children, and I'm sure of that because the script has plot holes big enough to trap Godzilla in them. Really, I thought I'd be covering this movie with a theory, but the entire attitude of the film is like, this is happening now, no reason, just go with it. So instead, I just want to illustrate how insane this movie was so that you guys will go see it too. So, The Fantastic Adventures of Unico opens up by saying Unico is a baby unicorn and he has a special talent of making people super happy. For some reason, that makes the gods angry, so they gather up and decide that they should kill Unico to make people work for their happiness. But then they relent and say, nah, that's too harsh. That makes us seem like Lord Voldemort. So instead, let's take this baby unicorn whose only crime is bringing more joy into the world and exile him to the Hill of Oblivion where he will spend forever and a day. Don't forget, if you don't kill them, unicorns are immortal, so that's like endless misery for doing nothing wrong. So the gods command the West Wind to take Unico away, and she's like, sure thing. But as soon as she leaves the gods, she goes, yeah, I'm not doing that. I guess she feels bad for baby Unico, or maybe his happiness powers affected the West Wind. It's not clear. But instead of taking him to the Hill of Oblivion, the West Wind hides Unico on an island that only contains the Devil of Solitude and his son. I'm not sure how that's better than the Hill of Oblivion, but okay. Unico quickly finds the Devil of Solitude and wants to be his friend, but the devil resists and tries to zap Unico with his magic, which ultimately causes a stone pillar to fall over and shatter the devil. Oh yeah, did I mention the Devil of Solitude is a statue? 'Cause he is, and there's zero explanation as to why. Japanese cultural things, maybe? Lazy writing, more accurately. But when the devil dies, Unico finds his son, a tiny, rude, non-statue demon named Basil. Basil unscrews Unico's horn to use it as his own because that's how horns work. Surprise, they aren't actually attached to an animal's body. Whatever, we're just going with it. And then Unico drowns, Basil feels bad and saves him, and the two are now such good pals that Basil suddenly grows his own horn. And that feels oddly symbolic of some kind of male-on-male attraction, but again, this movie was designed for a very young crowd, so we're just gonna go with it, smile, nod, and move on. Haha, and so will Unico, because now that there's happiness at the home of the Devil of Solitude, the gods are getting wise that Unico must be the cause of that. So the West Wind has to swoop Unico away and deposit him elsewhere, and the gods summon the Night Wind to sneaky snatch Unico and take him to that Hill of Oblivion. Seriously though, I would love some context as to why the Hill of Oblivion is such a bad place. The West Wind literally just left Unico on a demon island, so what is this hill like that the devils are the lesser of two evils? I have no answer, but I am genuinely curious. But now Unico has been moved, and he has to restart his life in this ordinary-looking countryside. And it only takes moments before a singing cat in a basket boat crosses his path, and presto! Instant friendship, and oh, so kawaii! I am a Katie the Kitty Cat fangirl all the way. When I was a kid, I would annoy people so badly with her little song.
My ribbon's red, my whiskers long, my paws as white as snow. And every day I sing this song, no matter where I go. I'm a cat, and that is why I sing a song of meow, meow, meow.
But Katie is a tuxedo cat that wants to learn witchcraft because that's what cats do. And it doesn't take long for Unico and Katie to find an old lady in the woods that they suspect might be a witch. Really, she's just an old lady in the woods. But Unico turns Katie into a human girl, and Katie thinks the old lady did it. You get the idea. It's a whole thing. And despite how harsh that sounds, the first 2/3 of this movie are just a cutesy sugar rush. But then we get to that last third of the movie where the tone flips, and suddenly it's an action film for no explicable reason. I mean, I don't know if the writers thought that kids were getting bored, or if it was their idea of throwing a bone to the brothers in the audience, but we get this blue-skinned man who lures Katie to his home, where she gets date ropey levels of drunk. Sincerely, I get the vibes that this creepy dude was trying to have his way with Katie, and there was no reason given as to why. Was he a vampire? Did he love her? Did he need to produce an heir? I mean, what is your deal, dude? Unico tries to save Katie and even sword fights the blue guy with his horn to defend her. But things intensify, and the blue guy, which I'm not trying to be cheeky here, I watched this movie 3 times and couldn't find his character name once. The closest thing to a name I think he used was Baron de Ghost. But the blue guy eventually gets impaled, which took the intensity of this movie from a 0 to a 500 with no forewarning. However, instead of dying, he just morphs into this giant dragon-looking creature, which raises even more questions that the movie never wants to answer. And the West Wind went to get Basil to aid in this fight for some reason. I mean, he's like the size of a shoe and has had magical powers for maybe 2 days at this point. What good is he in a fight? Maybe go get Unico's mother, the gigantic magical unicorn? Whatever, we're just going with it. But as would be expected, after a bunch of hemming and hawing and Unico's horn getting broken, Unico briefly dies, only to be brought back by Katie and Basil's love, which, when your powers combine, I am Alicorn Unico! And Golden Unico demolishes the dragon, even though we never learn anything about its motives or origin. Just a mystery man-dragon hanging out in the countryside of Japan, like you do. Then Katie goes back to live with the old woman as her helper, which I guess is supposed to show growth on her part, because the woman wasn't a witch, but Katie stayed anyways, so I guess she's giving up on her dreams. And Basil, well, I don't know. Like, the West Wind showed up and took Unico away before he could even say goodbye to anyone, and Katie and Basil are just watching him fade off into the distance, but no one ever put Basil back on his island. I sure hope he wanted to live with Katie forever, and vice versa, because it looks like that match is set. Whatever, we're just going with it. And no joke, that is the end of the movie. Unico is still on the run from the Night Wind. There's never any resolution with the gods when it seems like a simple fix to take Unico to the gods. And, you know, when they meet him and feel overwhelmingly happy, they'll stop trying to negatively impact Unico's life. Simple fix, right? But apparently, any sense of hope is too much to ask for out of this movie. I'm honestly amazed by how much I fanatically obsessed over this film as a kid when it is so bleak. I had totally blacked out everything about the blue guy and his dragon form, so I'm wondering if Minnie McGann also blocked out the ominous ending too. I'm not sure what I did, just as I'm not sure what this movie is even about. It's definitely a ride and adorable, but I don't think this movie is a thinker. The Fantastic Adventures of Unico is kind of like walking up to somebody and going, "You're cute, let us ride this random roller coaster together." And that's it, that's all you know. You have no other context or information on this other person. But despite it all, yes, I still love Unico, and I still recommend you to watch this for yourself, if only to see what an inexplicable trip this movie is. I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. And every day I sing this song, no matter where I go. I'm a cat, meow, and that is why I sing this song of meow, 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 meow. People hated me as a child, rightfully so. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, "Hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that?" Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Fanily and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, "Hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people." So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, "Hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members."